Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? This is the CEO treatment of Glass. So what is it about? Glass is a sequel to Split, and we also learned at the end of Split, spoiler alert, well, I mean, whatever, you should know by now. We learned that Split also takes place in the same universe as Unbreakable. And all the main characters from their respective movies are back. You got David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis, Elijah Price, aka Mr. Glass, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and then you got Kevin, aka 17,000 other personalities, played by James McAvoy. And these three get locked up in a psych ward, and Dr. Ellie, who is played by Sarah Paulson, tries to convince them that they're not superheroes and or people with abilities. And of course we know that's probably not gonna go as planned. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we have our movie. So what did I like? First 20 minutes of this movie had a good setup. Smooth opening, good character introductions. I dug it. I did. And it was nice seeing David Dunn and Mr. Glass back in action. I love Unbreakable to this day, but in the early 2000s, I didn't get a chance to see that movie in theaters. So it's cool to see these characters on the big screen. I'm glad I finally got that experience. But that aside, who are we kidding? The star of this show is James McAvoy. My guy delivered an amazing performance. He was dripping so much swag throughout this movie. If you loved him in Split, you were definitely going to enjoy his performance in this film. Now moving on, what didn't I like? Everything else. Literally everything else. What I named in my likes, that is literally the start and the finish of what I liked. What I didn't like is everything else about this film. And it's true, the first 20 minutes flowed so smoothly because the rest of it did not whatsoever. This movie got really boring and really sloppy very fast. So quick recap for the class. The movie is named Glass, after Mr. Glass. But for the first half of this film, he's useless. Like, useless. His character is fun to watch when he actually does things, but when he's not doing things, which is half, if not 3/4 of this movie, it's useless. Because the movie is named Glass, after Mr. Glass, which we just discussed again. But his character doesn't do much to justify the title. And David Dunn's character, I just went in my refrigerator and found him on the back of a milk carton because he was nowhere to be found in the second act of this film. The film just doesn't feel like an Unbreakable sequel. Their characters don't really interact till the back half of this film. It almost feels like a cash grab putting these characters in the film. The plot makes sense, but the story doesn't naturally grow and progress how you want it to. While you think it's a cool idea to have these three characters on screen together, you think it will flow more naturally, but it doesn't. It feels more like a triple threat match or a tug of war between their stories and narratives. And for the love of everything, the ending is so dumb. It is. It just is. But overall, this isn't the sequel I wanted after the amazing setup at the end of Split, but this film is just average, ordinary, uneventful, and dull. And that's to say the least. But if you love Split, you'll love James McAvoy's performance in this film. But if you love Unbreakable, you might hate this movie. You just might. But M. Night Shyamalan does it again. I was fooled with The Happening, I felt played after watching After Earth, and I felt straight up disrespected after The Last Airbender. And that's why I walked out of Glass thinking I definitely wanted my time back. Some of you might actually like this film, but I try not to use the word hate, but I strongly disliked it. So if you guys seen Glass or plan to, if so, drop a comment below. Got an idea? Let me know. I look forward to doing more of these in the future. Peace out.